It is Thursday, and it is our 150th day of learning in first grade. Wow, wow, wow. I cannot believe it. So yesterday I read to you guys, which story in Frog and Toad did I read? Yesterday I read Spring, which I loved, and we talked about Toad and his character traits. Now today we're going to be talking about Frog and his character traits, and I'm going to read to you another story from Frog and Toad Are Friends. So before I do, I want to remind you what character traits are. Character traits, remember, tell or show you how the character in a story, how he looks, how he feels, how he acts, right? So all those things in a story that we can pick up. So we have to think, what does he say? Like, what does he say to his friend? Maybe what he thinks that is not in dialogue, right? What are his actions, right? And how is he feeling? Just like we do those point of view assignments, we try to figure out what they're feeling, and then we can relate it to ourselves and say, oh yeah, I felt like that before too, right? So that's what we want to do. We want to figure out what Frog is like and what his character traits are, because those character traits help us understand the story better and help us identify with the characters. So before I start, I want to give you one word, one trait that describes Frog, and it's a vocabulary word, so I want you to think about it too. So the word is thoughtful. Frog is super thoughtful. He is full of thought. So to be thoughtful means that you are thinking about you're thinking about other people. You put a lot of thought into your actions, and you're always trying to be kind, right? To be Frog is very thoughtful. He was thoughtful enough when he heard Toad being really sad that no one ever sent him a letter, right? He was thoughtful, and he ran home and he wrote a letter and put it in the mail. He's really thoughtful. His actions are always kind. He's always being caring. He's full of thought, and full of good thought at that. So I'm going to read this story, A Swim, and I want you to think about what Frog is like in this story and the other stories that we have read, right? Like the letter, the garden. What else did we read? We read, yesterday we read Spring, and you've been reading on your own too. And I'm going to read another one tomorrow. But think about all the different things. The lost button, right? Frog was really hopeful, right? Toad was so upset the whole time that button was lost. But Frog the whole time said, we'll find it, Frog. Is this one yours? So Frog is really hopeful, right? He's always, he's not worried. He is always positive, right? We'll put positive here for Frog also. He's positive, which means he thinks good thoughts, and he doesn't get really sad or worried. Positive, when you think positive, when you think good things. Okay, so Frog and Toad Are Friends by Arnold Lobel. This excerpt is called A Swim. A Swim. Toad and Frog went down to the river. What a day for a swim, said Frog. Yes, said Toad. I will go behind these rocks and put on my bathing suit. See, Toad. I don't wear a bathing suit, said Frog. Well, I do, said Toad. After I put on my bathing suit, you must not look at me until I get into the water. Why not? Asked Frog. Because I look funny in a bathing suit, that is why, said Toad. So Frog closed his eyes when Toad came out from behind the rocks. Toad was wearing his bathing suit. Don't peek, he said. And Frog didn't. So is he listening, and is he being respectful to his friend by following his wishes? Yeah. Is that a character trait? It is. Let's add it. He's being respectful. He's being a good friend. Now, is this the first time he's a good friend, or has Frog showed us throughout all these stories that Frog is always a good friend? Yeah, he has showed us over and over again that he's a good friend. And has he showed us over and over again that he's really respectful, right? That he tries to do as Toad wishes?
Yeah. So Frog is definitely a respectful character.
He's thoughtful, he's positive, he's a good friend, and he's respectful. So, now that Toad is in his bathing suit and Frog covered his eyes so he could jump in the water, they are going for a swim. Frog and Toad jumped into the water. They swam all afternoon. Frog swam fast and made big splashes. Toad swam slowly and made smaller splashes. A turtle came along the riverbank. Frog, tell that turtle to go away, said Toad. I do not want him to see me in my bathing suit when I come out of the river. So Frog swam over to the turtle. Turtle, said Frog, you will have to go away. Why should I? Asked the turtle. Because Toad thinks that he looks funny in his bathing suit and he does not want you to see him, said Frog. So again, is Toad showing us that he's a good friend and he's respectful? Toad asked him to go do that, and Frog didn't even question. He said, okay, Toad, and he went and did it, right? Frog is a good friend. Some lizards were sitting nearby. Does Toad really look funny in his bathing suit? They asked. And a snake crawled out of the grass. If Toad looks funny in his bathing suit, said the snake, then I, for one, want to see him. We want to see him too, said two dragonflies. Me too, said a field mouse. I have not seen anything funny in a long time. Now, when Toad told Frog that he looked funny and to close his eyes, Frog did it right away, right? Didn't question. He said, okay, Toad. And he closed his eyes and was respectful and was a good friend. Are these creatures, are these animals being good friends, or are they saying, I want to see it. I'm not going to listen that Toad doesn't want to see it. I want to see it because it's funny. So these creatures are not being a good friend. Frog was being a really good friend. Frog swam back to Toad. I'm sorry, Toad, he said. Everyone wants to see how you will look. Then I will stay right here until they go away, said Toad. The turtle and the lizards and the snake and the dragonflies and the field mouse all sat on the riverbank. They waited for Toad to come out of the water. Please, cried Frog, please go away. So now Frog is still being a really good friend, right? He's sticking up for his buddy. What a good friend he is. But guess what? No one went away. Toad was getting colder and colder, right? Have you ever been in the water for too long and you say, oh, okay, I gotta get out? He was beginning to shiver and sneeze. I will have to come out of the water, said Toad. I am catching a cold. Poor Toad. Ooh, sight word, right? Poor Toad. P-O-O-R. Didn't even notice. Toad climbed out of the river. The water dripped out of his bathing suit and down onto his feet. The turtle laughed, the lizards laughed, the snake laughed, the field mouse laughed, and Frog laughed. What are you laughing at, Frog? Said Toad. I am laughing at you, Toad, said Frog, because you do look funny in your bathing suit. Of course I do, said Toad. Then he picked up his clothes and went home. Well, Toad knew what was going to happen, right? He said, I have to get out of the water. I'm cold. I have a pretty good idea that these animals are going to laugh, right? Toad already knew that he looked funny in his bathing suit, which is why he asked Frog at the beginning of the story to close his eyes and be respectful. But sometimes things are just funny. That doesn't mean Frog isn't still a good friend, because we know Frog is thoughtful. Frog is respectful. Frog is positive, right? He always says, Toad, don't worry, we will find your button, right? Or he tries to stay positive and ask the other animals, oh, please leave. Like, he's trying to stay positive for Toad. He's always trying to be a good friend. So these are some ideas to get you started. I want you to come up with some of your own ideas about what you think are some character traits for Frog, okay? And after you do that, send it to me on Seesaw. I'd love to see what you think, because tomorrow I'm going to read you another story about Frog and Toad, and we're going to do a little comparison and pick which character we like better. So let me see what you think about Frog, and I'll see you later for math. Bye, guys.